Hey guys, so today we have two Zenkai Awakenings to take a look at. We have two Android 21 units. We have the green one, the summonable one, and we have the red free-to-play one as well. So let's go ahead and start with the free-to-play one. I have her just right before Zenkai 7 because I want to capture that in the showcase at the beginning. But let's see. This is either the most recent character to ever get a Zenkai or the second most. It's between her and LF Piccolo. If you guys remember when LF Piccolo got his Zenkai Awakening, he was like, I think it was like right under a year for him as well, for him to get his Zenkai Awakening. So I think these two characters are the quickest. This 21 and then Piccolo. All right, let's see what she looks like. Display maximum stats. 274 blast and then mid 180s to defenses. Defenses are good. Can't really complain about those. Blast at being a 274, a little low. Not really gonna harp on it too much because she is free to play, but you know, it's a little low. It's not horrible though. The good thing about 21 is she is on some decent teams. Androids, Regen, Girls. Like Girls is not really ever going to be a competitive team again, but it's still an expansive tag. Like you have a lot of characters belonging to the Girls tag. Regen, though, like, probably the most shafted tag in 2022. It got literally nothing, literally nothing, zero, no help. Buon is like everything that they got or something like that. And then Piccolo, right, I guess from Superhero. And then Androids has been getting some love recently, so that's obviously where I think most people are going to be using this character. All right, so her blast effect actually gives her sustained damage cut penetration, 20% for 5 timer counts. It's actually pretty good. That effect is not bad. That's an effect I would expect to see on like a lot of new summonable units. So that, I cannot complain about that at all. I'm actually going to pull her up real quick in a different window just so that I can have her pre-Zenkai details displayed on my screen here. If I can find her. In the meantime, I guess we'll just continue. Kamehameha, mass impact damage, 25%. 2 special move damage inflicted for 3 counts. So does that change at all? Yeah, it actually goes from 20% to 25%. And then she actually can grab 3 Dragon Balls with this instead of 2. Used to be 2 only. So that Dragon Ball is on hit as opposed to being on activation. Remember, Red Pan, the Dragon Ball Super Pan, hers is on activation. That's the difference between those two characters. Green card draws a blast card next, changes own strike cards to blast cards, gets 40 key, and then 25% damage. So that 25% damage goes up by 5%. It used to be just 20%, so not a huge change, but it is still a buff. All right, main ability, Enhanced Energy. So she draws a green card next. Sorry, not a green card, a blue card. Blue card next. Own health by 30% and key by 40, and then 30% damage inflicted for 30 counts. So she's getting 5% more HP and 10 more key. Honestly, they should have just given it 50 key. Like, if you are actually at below 10 key when you pop this, you're not going to be able to use the blue card, right? Because you're not going to have the 50 key that you need to use it. So honestly, they should have just made the key 50, just so that you can guaranteed use the blue card when you draw it, whatever, it's fine. Zenkai ability is, we already know it's Androids in red, but it's one of these half Zenkai abilities, so it's not as good as it should have been. Unique ability number 1, Combat Ready Scientist, 80% damage inflicted, 30% blast damage inflicted, 40% reduced damage received. They actually made the change that I wanted to for that, is they actually made that a permanent reduced damage received buff. It used to only be 15 timer counts, now it's permanent and uncancelable, which is really good. All right, and then randomly destroys 1 enemy card. That actually isn't new. I didn't realize she had that. Okay. Following effects occur when causing a character with a revive's health when reaches 0 effect revives. This is an anti-revival mechanic. So she gets a permanent 30% damage inflicted, and then she reduces enemy key by 50 and then destroys 2 cards. The key reduction and card destruction is new. I don't really think that's really that good. The damage inflicted buff permanently is much better, but this is not really that great of a anti-revival mechanic, unfortunately. Definitely interesting, though, because it makes me wonder if we're going to be getting another revive character soon, because it's been a really long time since we got one. Almost a full year. The following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Restores own key by 35. That goes up from 30. -5 to own blast and special move arts cost for 10 counts. That is the same. Inflicts on enemies HP downgrade. -30% health restoration for 20 counts. That is the same. Seals seals enemy strike arts when changing cover, and then the sealed cards cannot be used for 5 counts. So that's kind of like a downgraded version of Ultra Blue Kaioken's strike locking ability, because it's only on cover change. Whereas his is just whenever he faces an enemy. So it's still strong though, right? I mean, her destroying a card and then also getting strike locking is actually pretty strong on cover change. All right, so here is the first new unique ability. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts: 20% damage inflicted, 10% reduced damage received, and 20% to key recovery. So this is a very simple unique ability, but I actually feel like this is actually pretty good. I think this is like actually decent. 20% damage is stacked on top of this. So she's basically starting the fight with 130% blast damage. And then she's getting the extra 10% damage reduction, which is going to be good. She's getting 40% there. So she should actually be decently tanky, considering she has some pretty solid defensive stats already. She's not going to be eating combos from Ultra Goju to Blue, but, you know, she should at least be able to take okay damage against, like, normal characters. All right, and then the second one is Science Prodigy. Following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy. Gradually restores health each time or count for 10 counts. Card draw speed for 5 counts. That's not a long time. And then she inflicts enemy that would downgrade -1 to arts card draw speed. This character actually looks like she'll be a pretty good cover change character. She's getting 1 card destruction. She's lowering card draw speed by 1 level. And then she's also locking strike cards. Pretty annoying. I mean, this is only for 5 counts. She's only reducing card draw speed for 5 counts, but, you know, it could help, you know, the 1 card that the enemy needs to continue the combo. Maybe they just don't draw it because of that. She seems okay. Again, I don't think any of these non-Zenkai characters are really going to be able to compete with the better characters in the game, but she at least seems like a good option for like a secondary slot on a team, or if you don't have a full setup for one of these teams, she could be pretty good. And then we have the green 21 here. Let's go ahead and take a look at her. Why are her stats worse than the free one? What? Why are her stats so bad? Okay. We'll just ignore those. So the blast card is 15% special move damage inflicted for 15 counts upon activation. That's pretty good because it's lasts for a long time. 15 counts is a long time for that. Kamehameha, major impact damage, 20% damage inflicted for 15 timer counts upon activation. This is new. Inflicts enemy that would downgrade plus 20% of blast damage received. That's the new part of this? Okay, sure. It's not really that good. The following effects occur on hit with a green card, flash, draws a blue card twice, own key by 50, and then 15% damage inflicted by ally. That literally, this isn't changed. This is the same exact effect. You know what would have made this a godly green card? You know what would have made this a godly green card? If upon activation, it canceled enemy attribute upgrades and abnormal conditions. Or enemy upgrades and buff effects. If this green card on activation canceled enemy buff effects and attribute upgrades, that would allow Flash to inflict a lot of characters that would have otherwise been immune to it. And I feel like that's the main issue with this mechanic now, is so many characters are now immune to these effects that it makes it tough to even use this in a lot of cases. So I would have liked to have seen something like that to make her at least somewhat relevant here, but whatever. All right, so the ultimate is massive impact damage. Falling effects occur according to the number of battle members upon activation. So she gets 50, 60, and 70, huh? Okay, so that goes from 40, 50, 70 to 50, 60, 70. So they buffed it a little bit for the lower end. Interesting. It's okay. Actually, does that have blast armor? Let me just check. It does not have blast armor. Yikes. All right, so the main ability is Please Forgive Me. Let me just compare this real quick. Draws Ultimate Arts card, restores health by 25% and key by 60. That's the same. Gradually restores own health each timer count for 30 counts. That's new. Not really a huge fan of that mechanic. Card draw speed by 1 level for 30 counts, and then +1 to the amount of special cover changes can be used. So the only thing that changed is she's now getting healing for 30 counts. Okay. Z ability is actually pretty good, and then I'm assuming her Zenkai ability is going to be green androids. Could technically be green regen, but I doubt it. Yeah, it is green androids. Okay. Only downside of this is we don't really have good green android characters right now. Green overall is just like the worst typing in the game by far. It's not really that close either. First, unique ability. Shortens own sub count by 1 as default. That is new. That's pretty good. I mean, it's not, at this point in the game's lifespan, just reducing your sub count by 1 is not game changing, but maybe it saves you, right? Maybe because you could use your cover rescue ability. Applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield. Changes strike cards to blast cards. 60% damage inflicted. And then reduces damage received by 30%, 15 counts. They didn't make that just permanent. Okay. And then minus 10 to blast arts cost. So that goes from 5 to 10. That is a pretty good buff. And then she gets 10% blast damage inflicted every time another battle member is hit with an enemy's strike, blast, or special move arts attack. Looks like that's cancelable. Is that true? So you can just... That's really bad if that's cancelable. Okay. Alright, second unique ability is receive 0 damage when changing cover for the first time, and you can get an extra stack of that from her main ability. Applies the following effects itself when one ally is defeated. 30% damage inflicted, and then applies attribute upgrade, shorten the sub count by 2. Did anything change for this? I don't think so. Yeah, nothing changed to this. This is the same. Okay. Oh, actually, no, sorry. There is one change. She used to get +2 to sub count when activated for the cover rescue ability, but now that they got rid of that. Okay. I guess that's pretty... It's pretty... I mean, it's not negligible, but it's not like that crazy. All right, first one of these new unique abilities. Following effects occur when changing cover. She restores 30% of damage received. She gets card draw speed for 20 counts. And then inflicts enemy attribute downgrade 20% to blast damage. Yeah, this is... I hate when they do this now. We are way past this in terms of power creep in this game, where characters are getting like these decent buffs, but they're restricted to you cover changing. Like, why isn't this just when she enters the battlefield, she gets card draw speed? Hello? Are we in 2021 land still? Like, that is not good enough. A force for good. This one actually looks pretty long. Applies the following effects to self when battle starts. 15% damage inflicted. And then reduces damage received by 10%. Applies the following effects to self if there is a tag android battle member other than this character in the party. 15% damage inflicted. And then reduces damage received by 10% again. Okay. So she's getting a 30% buff from this alone. So 30% from this. She's getting 60% from just baseline. And then she's getting another 50 here. So she can... build her way up to 140% blast. Dude, this character just looks straight up worse than the free-to-play red character. Why is she getting like nothing? This is like the worst possible meta for this character as well, because she is a green ranged type character when the character you encounter every single match is purple melee and doesn't care about blast cards. Like, she's changing her hand to blast cards. How do you fight with this unit? This is like the most worthless. This is like, honestly, if they were going to pick a character that you absolutely should not Zenkai right now, it probably would have been this character because of how worthless it was going to be. She's not even buffing anybody. What green android are you buffing? Gamma 1? Like, this is like the most bizarre decision ever. Unless they come out with a green android for like this all-star banner at the end of the month, which I'm assuming is coming out. It's not confirmed yet, but I'm assuming we're going to be getting an all-star banner at the end of the month. If they don't release a green android for that, I have no clue what the point of this release was. They could have just Zenkai'd the blue Tournament of Power 18. That would have at least given 17, a new LS17, a Zenkai bench option for him, which he doesn't even have one right now. He has the half option with the free-to-play blue 21, but like that would have been an infinitely more impactful Zenkai just for the bench option alone. This character's not doing anything. I don't really get it. All right, let's go check equipment. I don't know if we really have that many new ones though. Let's see what we got here. Archive. There should be something. Okay, here's one. This one is androids. Blast attack 15%, special move or ultimate damage 10%, and then blast 20%. Yeah, this is just one of these equips where it's like, this is what you're using if you just don't have like the better options, right? I mean, to be fair, androids doesn't really have that many good blast equips. So I guess you might be able to find a spot for this, but I mean, you compare this to like a lot of the Awaken equipments we've been getting, and it's like, what? You're only really using this to like build up to eventually when you have the better equipment, is what I feel like. Nothing crazy there. I think, is that it? Do we have any? There shouldn't be any Awaken equipment because we didn't get the reset on. Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, to me, I think the red 21 definitely looks infinitely better than the green one, especially in this meta with this character running around everywhere. But we're going to go ahead and get the showcases out for both those characters today, right after I'm done recording this. Let me know down below what you guys think of both of these Zenkai 21s. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.